Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a completely new brand, and this brand has literally decided they're going to come into the swimming world and make the best hand paddles. They're called Starke Swimming, and they offer 3 hand paddles. That's it, you know. It's quite a unique ideology, but these hand paddles are made of carbon fibre, completely of carbon fibre, and you can see them right here. This is their flow model. Now, actually looking at the market of hand paddles, most hand paddles that people have and use are just from swimming brands who make everything, you know. For example, I use the TIA Catalyst stroke paddles, and TIA are a brand that make goggles, hats, suits, kickboards, the works, and paddles is just one part of that big puzzle. Other than things like stroke makers, I don't think there's many other brands that are just out there to specialize on paddles completely. Now, as I said, Starke have 3 models. They have the wing, which is a finger paddle, and I don't actually have that. And then they have the power and the flow, which we have here. Slightly different models, and I'll get into the intricacies and the differences a little bit later. Now, right off the bat, I will say that these products, these paddles, are very expensive, and that is going to be something that we do have to, you know, talk about a little bit more in depth later when we've sort of analysed the product as a whole. But the flow model is currently $99 on sale from $110, and the power is currently $89 on sale from $99. So compared to competitors such as what I've used in the past, such as the Finis Agility paddle, the TIA Catalyst stroke, you know, things from Arena, these are, you know, 2, 3, 4 times the price, and we've got to really look why we might get these instead of the competition. Now, when it comes to the overall package that you get from Starke, come on, this is like nothing else, you know. With other brands, you get a little mesh bag and some straps, whatever. This is an experience. Like, the attention to detail on the whole product that Starke will ship you out is unreal. Everything from this box, you know, the gold logo embossed into this black matte box, strength is your victory. This is actually carbon fibre. On this, you know, sort of strap that holds the box together, that's actually carbon fibre. And then when you take off this strap, you get inside to where the paddles would be. They're not in there because they're obviously out. You get the paddles in there, you get the spare wrist straps and rubber bands for straps. You even get a little miniature carbon fibre paddle embossed with the Starke logo that will act as a keychain. And I mean, this is the coolest thing I've ever got with a swimming product. I'm just going to say it. I think this is epic. I love it. As you see, it's on my keychain, my car keys and my house key right there. It's just a cool package. It really did feel like, yeah, this is an expensive product, but they're not just, you know, stuck a little mesh bag with some paddles in it and been like, yeah, we'll take you 110 euros, dollars, pounds, whatever it is. So the next question is probably, why carbon fibre? You know, these are a hand paddle. Do we need carbon fibre? Like, we've got away with using plastics and acrylics in the past. Do we need to have a more expensive material? And hey, I thought that, you know, I was like, why? Like, it's cool, it looks cool, it's a cool concept, but why? Is it necessary? Do we need this? And I don't know, maybe we don't. What I will say is, first of all, these are incredibly light. Like, these are much lighter than any of the other paddles I own, which are all plastic. Maybe because they're thinner, maybe just because the carbon fibre is so light, but they're so light, and they, obviously carbon fibre feels great. It's got a lovely texture on the side that you actually put your hand in, and you've got this sort of shiny side that actually is going to be making contact with the water with the Starke logo here. But what, from using these, I've found that carbon fibre achieves is this sort of ability, this flexibility that these have, this lack of rigidness that plastic has in comparison, that just creates this water feel that I've not had from any other paddle. And I'm not exaggerating. Everyone I've swum with since owning these, I've been like, God, check these out, and they've gone, whoa, I love these. Like, these feel amazing, and they really do. They're like As I said, they're not like any other paddles that I've used, especially the Flow model, which has a bit more cut out. These almost feel like they're gonna move enough that they're gonna snap. They actually feel like when you're putting pressure on the water, they could snap. That's how much elasticity they have. They actually feel like they could snap at any moment because they're moving around that much. But it creates this feeling, this interaction with the water that is so much more authentic. Now, splitting down into the two models that I've got, forgetting about the wing, which is a finger paddle for sculling, for technique stuff. And we have the first of the two models, the Power model, which, as I've already said, is slightly cheaper than the Flow model. It's this complete covered carbon fibre. You know, there's no holes except for the wrist straps at the bottom. Starke recommend to use wrist straps. I don't personally like using wrist straps. I've only ever used the middle finger strap. That's how I like using a paddle. Of course, you get wrist straps should you want to have wrist straps with two, you know, widths for them. Using just a middle finger strap, you do have to feed the other the straps through the other holes to make this sort of smiley face effect. Otherwise, if you just have them just sticking out, they will loosen as you wear. If you set them up like this, they stay as tight as you need them for the whole time you're using them. So set them up like this. And the idea of the Power paddle would be for doing power work. You know, they've really not left it up for guessing. These are the ones that you're going to be using with parachutes, with bungees, for sprints with fins, for bursts of speed, and to really, you know, build strength and be explosive. That's why they've got the biggest surface area of all the Starke paddles. They come in 3 different sizes, a medium, large, and an extra large. I'm pretty sure this is a large, but I might be wrong. But they come in 3 sizes. They're the only ones that go up to an extra large. The Flow are just medium and large. So there's the biggest size available of the Starke paddles. And so yeah, for pure power work, I wish I had have got the bigger size than this, because personally, I love the feeling of these. These feel great, but my tier Catalyst, which are bigger, I do probably prefer for pure, straight up, extreme sprint freestyle power work. So yeah, there's that, but they do have incredible connection with the water. They still feel more authentic, and yeah, I can't complain with how they're felt in the water. They're clearly a great product. But I'm not going to speak too much more on the Power. I think it's good, but if you are going to get a Starke paddle, the Flow is actually a slightly different shape than the Power. It might not look it, but they are ever so slightly different sort of cutouts. But we don't need to get into that too much because they are for different purposes. And these only come in medium and large. You can't get them any bigger than this pair right here. Now, what they've done with the Flow is there is cutouts of the carbon fibre. So you have a cutout here, sort of where your palm is, and you have more here, basically where your fingers and thumb don't meet. So you've got this sort of space here, and there's basically just a gap there, so water's going to pass through. Now, what they say it does is it basically, the decreased surface area will mean that if you're doing longer pull sets, there will be less fatigue, so you won't be, you know, reducing your stroke rate, all of them things, and fatiguing as it goes on. And that's the idea for the Flow. The Flow isn't for your sprint freestyle and your power drills. This is for when your coach says we're going to go 10-200s pull with paddles and a pull buoy or paddles and a band. That's the purpose. It's for endurance freestyle or endurance paddles or pull sets. That's when you're going to put these on. What I also find these cutouts is they do change the elasticity, the rigidity of this, and they basically make it more flexible, and it's just incredible. Like I'd say the word water feel, but the connection with the water when the flows, much more so than even the powers, it's just incredible. Like, these do feel like nothing else. And you know, I use a lot of different paddles for a lot of different things. Like, I think you could be justified in owning all 3 pairs of Starke paddles. I've not even tried the wings, but I personally feel when I'm swimming butterfly or sculling, like smaller paddles, I actually use the tiniest, the smallest tier Catalyst pair, or the thinnest Agility for butterfly, because they're much smaller surface area. And I also have all the way to some massive paddles for power work. And if you had an extra large pair of powers, you know, the right size for you pair of flows, and then maybe the wings, then you're gonna have pretty much a full set of paddles for all intents and purposes. And I really do think that, to be honest, you shouldn't be just using the same paddles for everything. I just don't think that works. And I think if you look at a lot of pro swimmers kit bags, they will have more than one paddle. So I've loved the Flow. The Flow I actually get excited for wearing these. I've been doing more pull since I've owned these because I want to wear these basically. Like, they're cool. They feel great. They're fun to wear. They're a talking point as well. Like, I have carbon fibre hand paddles. It's just mega. When I'm talking about maybe owning all 3 pairs, you've got to address the elephant in the room, and that would be very, very expensive. You know, you could probably get 3 pairs of tier Catalyst strokes for like the price of 1 of these, you know. So when you actually do the maths, what's actually the best thing to do? And I wouldn't recommend anyone goes and buys out all 3 pairs of these, because that's just way too much money to be spending on hand paddles. Now, as much as I've loved using these, are these going to make you a better swimmer than maybe a pair of 15, 20 pounds hand paddles? And the answer is maybe in slight margins. You're going to enjoy using these more, but whether or not they're going to actually make you faster, that's another question altogether. But if you are going to treat yourself to a premium pair of hand paddles, then I think getting the Starke Flow will make you very happy. And you know, the attention to detail, the whole package, it's just incredible. And you will be, you know, at no point do I think these don't justify their price tag. That's not what this is a question of. It's just whether or not you should still be paying £110. Everything that Starke have done justifies how much they're asking. But there's still no going about the fact that it's £110 or £100 on this offer for a pair of hand paddles. And I just know some of you just aren't going to ever be able to justify that, and that's okay. But if you feel like you can, you won't be disappointed with the money you've spent on these. So that's my review on the Starke hand paddles, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please could you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, I'll see you on the next video.